رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Amma ba'd. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, it's a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to indeed again come inside the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and praise Him, right? The way Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he showed us through His sunnah, right? Because that is the best way of praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you want to learn how to do anything, if you want to learn, right, to praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in any type of way or form, even through food, through eating, through sleeping, to sexual intercourse, even with your wife, to pleasure yourself, right? Through Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the way he showed us, if we follow his sunnah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what he does is he rewards us. He gives us rewards, money, he gives us hasanat in Jannah, inshaAllah. So again, inshaAllah, today's khutbah again will be towards Musa alayhi salam. Musa alayhi salam, just a little quick background about how we talked about last time. We gave a couple of reasons why Musa alayhi salam, why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses his example many different times, right? Because he is indeed one of the greatest anbiya. He also led one of the greatest nations before Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, right? And his nation, they were met with so many different situations and so many difficulties that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kept showing them different ways of getting out of those situations. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used those reasons to remind us to not to make the same mistakes over and over again, right? They say that the smart person, right, is the person who learns from his mistakes. But the really smart person is the person who learns from others' mistakes, right? So again, it's a chance for us to learn from the mistakes of Musa alayhi salam's nation and to do better, right? And to be a better nation and be pleasing to our Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, to not disappoint him, right? Every night he used to stand in salats and praise, right? And make dua for us, so much dua, to such an extent that Aisha radiallahu anha used to say that his feet used to get swollen to such an extent. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentions a quick story, and each one of you guys know this story, and we go through this story probably every Friday, maybe we go through it. The story of Musa alayhi salam and Khidr. Now Musa alayhi salam, he is a Nabi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one of the greatest anbiya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Now, when it comes to Khidr, there are some scholars who disagree that if he is a prophet or he's not a prophet. But majority of the scholars, they actually agree that he is a prophet indeed. Why? Because the things he had done, especially from that story that we can tell, that no man could regularly do it. Even a scholar has no authority to do those things. Right? Because he used to get direct wahi from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to do things that wasn't like you couldn't understand, but he used to do it. Once Musa alayhi salam, he's standing in front of his qawm, his nation, and he's talking to them and he's delivering a khutbah to them. And as he's talking to them, towards the end of his khutbah, towards the end of his topic, one of the people from his tribe basically speaks up and he says, "Oh Musa," said, "Who is the most knowledgeable person today? Like, is it you? Is it somebody else? Who's the most knowledgeable person right now that's living right now?" Musa alayhi salam, of course, he's a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? We have to understand this. This is the only prophet since Adam alayhi salam. After Adam alayhi salam, since Nuh, even Nuh alayhi salam. He's directly talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Musa is directly talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Now, again, he also had the greatest nation, the greatest ummah, right? Until him. Before him, there was no greatest ummah. So Musa alayhi salam, right, he's thinking to himself, obviously it's me, man. I'm the smartest man. I'm the most knowledgeable man right here, right now. Right there and then, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what he does is he sends Jibreel alayhi salam. And he tells Jibreel alayhi salam, "Oh Musa alayhi salam, how can you speak without knowledge? You don't know what's the alam of ghayb. You have enough knowledge that we have given you. Right? You only know to such an extent. But now you spoke about something that you have no knowledge of." So Musa alayhi salam, in a way, he's kind of shocked. So Jibreel alayhi salam, he says to him, he says, "Indeed, there is actually a person who's more knowledgeable than you." Musa alayhi salam, right there and then, what he does is he humbles himself. Right? Now somebody tells us oh, that guy's better than you. No, he's not. Start arguing. No, I'm better than him. Oh, I'm more knowledgeable than him. You know, I keep telling some of my classmates, and I said, subhanAllah, in today's society, we look at some scholars, right? It's so funny, sometimes we would laugh in a way, because there are some scholars that criticize other scholars, right? They, to such an extent that the words that come out of their mouth. I'm not saying one scholar that he's saying something bad out of his mouth. Maybe he is doing something wrong, right? But how do you approach that person? Right? Again, approach. We talked about this a long time ago. Approach is very important. Again. So Musa alayhi salam, when he hears this, he's the Nabi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he humiliates himself and he asks Jibreel alayhi salam, he said, tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I want to know where he is. I basically want to learn from him. Let me see, I want to meet him. So he humiliates himself. Again, he humbled himself, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he basically gave him some details to where to meet him, right? If you go into the Quran, more details, then Musa alayhi salam, he's supposed to meet him at a certain location where the fish, when he loses the fish, to more or less to the meaning, and then you'll find him there. So anyways, Musa alayhi salam, he meets Khidr alayhi salam, and he meets him, and he basically approaches him and tells him, he says, I want to tag along with you, basically. I want to get with you. I want to hang around with you. I want to learn from you. Musa alayhi salam, Khidr alayhi salam, he says, I don't think you can do it, man. He said, do what? He says, I don't think you can handle it, bro. He says, you cannot hang out with me. He says, you cannot do it. It's not possible. The fact that maybe you're going to lose your patience, right? That's specifically what he told me. He says, you're going to lose your patience while you're hanging out with me. Musa alayhi salam, he insisted, and he says, please, I got you. You know, give me a chance. I'll probably do it for you, and I won't interfere. So Khidr said, do not interfere. No matter what I do not interfere at all. Musa alayhi salam, he says, okay. He agreed. So as they're walking down, they come and approach a little water area, right? And now they have to go across, because to there where Khidr is trying to go, he's trying to go basically across the water area. So what does Khidr do? Khidr goes up to the couple of people there. He sees a couple of poor people to such an extent. And he asked them, hey guys, can you guys give me a ride? We need a ride across the water. The poor people, right? Obviously they're poor, but they have some type of vehicle, some type of transportation. They said, okay, no problem, we'll do it, right? Even though remember Khidr and Musa alayhi salam, they are the Nabis of Allah, right? But look at this situation, they don't even have money in their pocket just for transportation right now, right? So just look, it's not like all these are Anbiyas of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? What's their status, right? Now, so the poor people, they said, okay, the fishermen, they said, okay, we'll give you a ride, so come with us, let's go. So as they're riding inside the boat, they're approach towards the middle area, and they're basically also doing, at the same time, they're doing a little fishing quickly, right? And when Khidr, he looks around, he sees nobody looking at him, he grabs one of his axes and he pokes a hole right inside the middle of the boat. He makes a hole right inside the middle of the boat. Musa alayhi salam is looking at this. And Khidr, he makes a hole, not what kind of hole? Not a hole that would allow that the ship to sink completely. So he made a hole that would give them the chance to get back to where their destination was, right? So imagine they're traveling and they're in the middle of the water area. He made a hole where the water is coming out. People can see that the water is coming out. It put a fear on the people that, oh, we're about to drown, but it didn't allow them to drown. So that hole wasn't that big. So Musa alayhi salam, he gets shocked, but he doesn't say nothing right away, right? And he kind of waits until they reach the destination, and when nobody's looking, they kind of disappear. Musa alayhi salam goes up to Khidr, he says, what are you doing? What are you doing? These people, they gave you a ride, they gave you something that they didn't have to, they provided you service, right? But why would you do that? Khidr right away, he says, didn't I tell you that you're not able to have patience with me? Did I tell you not to question me? Did I tell you not? And Khidr and Musa alayhi salam right away, and this is, if a lot of people actually mistake this, the first time he forgot, this was the actual forgetfulness. He did this because of, again, insan, he forgets, right? So the first time he made this mistake, this was unintentional. He didn't question him, because he knew in the back of his mind that, but this time he didn't know. He completely forgot. So when he questioned him, again, Khidr told him again, do not question me. So Musa alayhi salam said, listen, are you going to basically get at me for a mistake that a human being makes? Because human beings, they make mistake the first time, right? So give me another chance. Anyways, so Khidr said, okay, no problem. But again, I'm warning you, do not ask me any questions about whatever I do. Fine. They walk along,